Welcome to today's edition of 3-Minute Halacha. Because of the unusual nature of this year's Pesach, which begins Motzaei Shabbat, the days leading up to Pesach are a bit different, and people have asked that I review with you the differences in the halachot. It all begins Thursday morning, when we observe Ta'anit B'chorot, 2 days early. Firstborn are obligated to fast on Ta'anit B'chorot, and a KINS will be having 2 minyanim with a siyum afterwards so that they can break their fast. The first minyan will be at 6:15 and the second at 7 o'clock. Thursday night, again, 1 day early, we have the B'dikat Chametz. B'dikat Chametz is conducted with a bracha, and following the B'dikat Chametz, we recite the regular Kol Chamira. The next morning, Friday morning, 1 day early, we do bi'ur chametz, and we make sure to burn the chametz by 11:41 in the morning. However, unlike every other Erev Pesach, chametz is still permitted throughout Friday until Shabbat morning at 10:27. Shabbat is perhaps the most different aspect of this year, and as a result, there are a number of different approaches on how to manage the needs for 3 Shabbat meals, the prohibition against eating matzah, and also the requirement not to eat after the 10th hour on the day of Shabbat so that we have an appetite for the Seder itself. Historically, people would leave chametz and use chametz for the Friday night meal and also for the Shabbat morning meal. This allowed a person to be able to use challah, to have the 2 loaves for Shabbat. However, since the mid-20th century, it has become very common for Jews not to have any chametz on Shabbat and to use egg matzah for the chalot for Friday night and also for Shabbat morning. In addition to all of that, there's also an obligation for 3 meals on Shabbat. And the only way to have 3 meals with a motzaei is to divide the Shabbat morning meal into 2. And so the first meal Friday night, you'll have 2 egg matzahs, and you have a regular meal. Most people will have Pesach foods. Shabbat morning, in order to fit 2 meals in before the time the chametz is prohibited at 10:27, we daven early. The primary minyanim at Kins will be at 7:15 Shabbat morning, so people can go home, wash, make a motzaei, bench, take a brief break, learn something, take a walk, and then wash again, eat their meal, making sure that the egg matzah or the challah that they're using is finished by 10:27 in the morning. Any chametz that remains from Shabbat morning has to be disposed of by 11:41. The way to dispose of chametz that is left over on Shabbat morning is either by flushing it down the toilet or throwing it into the garbage cans off of our property. And if it remains in our own garbage cans, unlike the ones that are in the city of Chicago that are owned by the city, to pour over that chametz some kind of caustic liquid so that the chametz is no longer edible, such as soap or bleach. Shabbat morning, have 1 meal, a second meal, and by 10:27, make sure you're done eating chametz. There is another approach, and that's the approach that began with the Nota B'Yehuda, continued until the Aruch HaShulchan, and until modern time, Rav Hershel Schachter, who agrees with this, that egg matzah, unlike Rav Moshe Feinstein, who said it needs to be finished by 10:27, can be eaten all day until the 10th hour of the day, which is at 4:17 p.m. Erev Shabbat. In that case, a person could daven at a regular time. We will have a 9:15 minyan also Shabbat morning. Go home, have a regular time lunch with 2 egg matzahs, and then have Sudash Shlishit a little bit earlier than normal with 2 egg matzahs. This is a minority approach and really should be reserved for those people who find it difficult to make it to minyan at 7:15 in the morning. Those are the basic guidelines, which lead us right up to the Seder. Motzaei Shabbat, we should be able to start the Seder as soon as possible after Shabbat is over. No preparation may take place on Shabbat for the night of the Seder itself. Everyone should have a Chag Kasher V'Sameach.